Imagine waking up one day and realizing that two of the biggest American icons, Apple and McDonald's, are losing their grip, not just anywhere, but in one of the world's largest and fastest growing markets. China, once their gold mine, is now a massive challenge. And here's why this matters. China is setting new rules for what it means to be successful in the global economy, and the ripple effects will be felt everywhere. How does this impact American companies? And most importantly, why you should care? Over the past decade, China's market has transformed rapidly, not just growing but reshaping itself into a powerhouse of innovation. Chinese companies, once imitators, are now leaders. A recent report by Bloomberg states that local brands like Huawei, Xiaomi, and Luckin Coffee have gained unprecedented popularity, often seen as being more in tune with Chinese consumers than American brands like Apple and McDonald's. From advances in technology to shifts in government policy, China has created an environment where homegrown brands thrive. Tech innovations like Huawei's 5G and AI capabilities have turned these companies into global giants. According to Dr. Jean-Paul Larson, a professor at INSEAD specializing in Asian markets, China's corporate landscape is no longer an imitation game. It's about setting trends and pushing boundaries. But does this mean American brands are facing a permanent decline? Let's dive deeper. For American companies, this isn't just a phase. The data suggests a lasting shift. A 2023 survey from Global Times reports that over 70% of Chinese consumers prefer local brands over foreign ones, a dramatic reversal from a decade ago. This change aligns with China's new economic strategy, known as the dual circulation model, which emphasizes self-sufficiency and encourages domestic consumption. This means that while China is open to foreign brands, it is much more supportive of its own. According to Wang Wei, a senior economist at the China Center for International Economic Exchanges, China's push for domestic consumption is no longer just a goal. It's a policy shift with teeth. So what's actually driving Chinese consumers to prefer their local brands over these global giants? Please like and subscribe. Your support helps us grow. Thank you. Several factors are behind this shift. First, cost. Apple, once a symbol of aspiration, is now seen as overly expensive. Local competitors like Xiaomi and Oppo deliver similar quality at a fraction of the cost. A study by McKinsey & Company shows that 62% of Chinese consumers now seek value-for-money brands over premium labels. Then there's the matter of quality. Many younger Chinese consumers perceive local brands as equal, if not superior, to foreign ones. A survey by Statista reveals that 55% of respondents under 35 trust Chinese brands just as much as or more than foreign brands. The rise in quality perception has leveled the playing field, if not tilted it in favor of Chinese brands. Notes Mei Zhang, a retail analyst at China Renaissance Capital. With cost and quality influencing choices, what about brands like Huawei and Xiaomi? What's making them resonate so deeply with Chinese consumers? Local giants like Huawei and Xiaomi have captured Chinese hearts, and it's not just about product specs. When Huawei faced US sanctions, many Chinese consumers rallied around it, seeing Huawei as a symbol of resilience. According to South China Morning Post, Huawei's market share in China surged by 30% after the sanctions, a clear indication of consumer solidarity. Chinese consumers don't just buy Huawei because of its quality. They buy it because it represents a defiance against foreign restrictions, explains Xiao Chen, a consumer behavior expert at Tsinghua University. This alignment with national pride has strengthened brand loyalty for Huawei and Xiaomi, two companies that symbolize China's technological rise. But national pride is only part of the story. How does rising nationalism play into these choices? In today's China, nationalism has grown from a sentiment to a significant consumer driver. Rising geopolitical tensions, especially between the US and China, have intensified this shift. A recent survey by South China Morning Post found that nearly 80% of young Chinese consumers prefer to buy from local brands as a way to support their country's economy and ideals. This isn't just a trend. It's a powerful shift that has deep implications for how international brands are perceived. Chinese consumers are not only choosing products but aligning their choices with values. Buying from Huawei, for instance, is often seen as supporting China's fight against US sanctions. For many, supporting local brands isn't just about price or quality. It's a matter of national pride, explains Dr. Li Wei, a sociologist from Peking University. In this way, nationalism is reshaping the consumer landscape, influencing where people shop, what brands they support, and even how they perceive foreign companies. But how does this play into economic conditions? With the cost of living on the rise, are Chinese consumers choosing local brands just because they're patriotic? Or is it also about saving money? Let's explore. With living expenses growing rapidly, particularly in cities like Beijing and Shanghai, consumers in China are increasingly cost-conscious. The China Daily reported that since 2022, the average cost of goods and housing has risen by nearly 15%, putting pressure on everyday budgets. Foreign brands, often priced at a premium, are now perceived as luxury options. While McDonald's and Starbucks once represented a trendy lifestyle, their products are now nearly twice the cost of local alternatives. Local brands, on the other hand, often provide similar quality at more affordable prices. An example is Luckin Coffee, which has aggressively priced its products to compete directly with Starbucks. According to The Economist, Luckin Coffee saw a 30% increase in market share over the last year by appealing to value-seeking customers. The affordability factor is crucial, notes Jing Zhang, an economist at Shanghai University of Finance and Economics. Chinese consumers are pragmatic, especially as the cost of living rises, and they're willing to choose brands that fit their budgets. But beyond economics, how are foreign brands managing within China's evolving regulatory landscape? China has implemented numerous policies that make it challenging for foreign companies to operate with the same freedom they once enjoyed. New data localization laws, for instance, require companies like Apple and Tesla to store user data on Chinese soil, significantly complicating compliance and security management for these brands. Apple had to reconfigure its entire Chinese data infrastructure, an endeavor that Bloomberg estimated added millions in additional costs. According to Zhao Xing, a policy analyst at China Economic Review, these policy changes are not just administrative. They're structural, reshaping how companies operate and impacting their bottom lines. With compliance costs soaring, some companies are questioning their long-term viability in the Chinese market, especially when compared to local competitors who aren't facing these same hurdles. And as if navigating regulations weren't enough, sustainability is another pressing issue for brands in China. But how important is it really for foreign brands to embrace green practices to succeed? Sustainability isn't just a bonus in China, it's becoming a critical factor in consumer decision-making. Environmental concerns are especially relevant to younger generations, who see climate change as one of the biggest issues facing their future. A study by Greenpeace China revealed that 72% of consumers under 30 actively look for brands that have a strong environmental stance. American brands that succeed in China must do more than offer sustainable products. They must demonstrate commitment. Starbucks, for example, has pledged to operate entirely on renewable energy across all its Chinese outlets by 2030, and this commitment has bolstered its reputation among environmentally conscious consumers. According to Li Ming, a sustainability expert at Beijing Normal University, green policies resonate strongly with younger Chinese consumers. If foreign brands can't meet these expectations, they risk losing a huge segment of the market. Beyond environmental responsibility, let's talk about emotional connection. How can American companies connect on a deeper level with Chinese consumers? Building emotional resonance in China requires an understanding and appreciation of local culture. Successful brands know that it's not just about selling a product. It's about creating connections that go beyond the transaction. Apple, for example, has run several ad campaigns in China celebrating Chinese New Year traditions, using heartfelt storytelling to appeal to consumers on a cultural level. Chinese consumers respond to brands that recognize and respect their cultural values, says Alex Zhang, a marketing expert at Renmin University. Campaigns that align with major cultural moments like Chinese New Year or the Mid-Autumn Festival strengthen brand loyalty by showing an appreciation for what matters to consumers in their daily lives. This strategy goes beyond simply translating ads. It's about conveying respect and understanding. Now, let's see how one American giant, McDonald's, is actively evolving to keep pace with these cultural shifts. McDonald's has been in China since the early 1990s, and over the years, it has learned the importance of cultural adaptation. Its menu now includes rice dishes, spicy options, and limited edition flavors that appeal to local tastes. Nearly 60% of McDonald's menu in China is regionally tailored, a move that's helped it stay competitive in a market where local fast food chains are thriving. The company has also embraced China's tech-driven consumer landscape. McDonald's recently rolled out AI-powered kiosks and introduced facial recognition payment systems, making it easier and faster for customers to order and pay. This tech integration is not just a gimmick. It's a strategic move in a country where digital engagement is essential for business. In a market that values innovation, what are the key technological advancements American companies should focus on to succeed in China? To thrive in China, foreign brands must be at the forefront of digital innovation. Mobile payments, AI-driven personalization, and interactive marketing on platforms like WeChat and Douyin are now essential tools. According to a report by the China Internet Network Information Center, 99% of Chinese internet users are active on mobile, making mobile-first strategies indispensable. Starbucks has embraced this approach by partnering with WeChat for seamless ordering and delivery, enhancing convenience for customers. Nike similarly has leveraged AI-driven apps that customize product recommendations based on user preferences and past purchases. In China, digital strategy isn't just a competitive advantage. It's a requirement, says Grace Zhou, a digital commerce consultant at Shanghai Partners. With such a diverse country, let's talk about how American brands can adapt regionally within China. How important is it to tailor approaches for different regions? China is not a monolithic market. What works in Beijing may not resonate in Chengdu or Shenzhen. Successful brands understand these regional nuances and adjust their strategies accordingly. For instance, Coca-Cola tailors its flavors and marketing campaigns to match local tastes, even introducing flavors unique to specific regions like Sichuan. According to David Lee, a cultural marketing expert at Fudan University, understanding regional diversity is critical for success in China. Foreign brands that tailor their products to regional tastes tend to perform better and connect more deeply with consumers. This approach shows respect for local traditions and allows brands to cater to specific demographics more effectively. But to truly strengthen loyalty, brands must go beyond products and enter the realm of storytelling and engagement. Let's see how. In China, storytelling and social media aren't just marketing tools, they're lifelines. With platforms like WeChat, Douyin, and Xiaohongshu, brands can tell stories, share values, and engage in real time with consumers. Nike has embraced this model, launching campaigns that celebrate Chinese athletes and engage users through inspiring stories of perseverance. Social media engagement builds brand trust and loyalty, especially among younger audiences, explains Liu Feng, a digital marketing professor at Beijing University of Technology. Campaigns that encourage interaction, like user-generated content challenges, amplify brand reach and foster a sense of community. But to stay relevant, brands need to be adaptable and culturally aware. What specific adaptations must American companies make to succeed in China's complex market? American brands need to adapt in every dimension, culturally, technologically, and logistically. Adapting to local tastes, embracing digital payment systems, and engaging on local social media platforms are just the beginning. Companies like Apple, for example, have localized their customer service to align with Chinese expectations, even setting up support lines that operate during national holidays. Adapting to the Chinese market means respecting its uniqueness, not treating it as an extension of Western consumer trends, emphasizes Wang Rui, a senior consultant at China Market Solutions. Brands that recognize this reality have a better chance at longevity in China's competitive environment. With all these complexities, one factor remains key: cultural sensitivity. Let's examine why that's so essential for American brands today. In China, cultural sensitivity isn't just appreciated, it's expected. Foreign brands that don't fully understand the intricacies of Chinese culture and traditions are often dismissed as tone-deaf or even disrespectful. We've seen this play out with brands like Dolce and Gabbana, whose missteps in understanding Chinese customs led to public backlash and a significant loss of market share. One recent example of a successful cultural adaptation is Coca-Cola's Chinese New Year campaigns. Rather than using generic Western marketing, Coca-Cola incorporated the Chinese zodiac and seasonal customs, creating ads that resonated with audiences on a deeply personal level. According to Marketing China, this approach boosted Coca-Cola's brand loyalty in China by 20% over 3 years, proving that brands who get it are rewarded. But being culturally sensitive goes beyond just understanding holidays and festivals. It means recognizing China's complex social dynamics, respecting national pride, and understanding the preferences of each age group. Companies that tailor their messaging and adapt their products accordingly build a stronger foundation for trust and long-term success. But with such high stakes in sustainability, cultural adaptation, and tech savviness, how do American companies align with China's unique sustainability goals? In recent years, China has pushed hard to become a leader in sustainability, setting ambitious goals for carbon neutrality by 2060. To remain competitive, American companies need to be proactive, not reactive, in their sustainability strategies. Brands that don't align with these goals may find themselves sidelined in favor of competitors who make the effort. One effective strategy is adopting green manufacturing practices. Nike, for instance, launched a Move to Zero campaign in China that focuses on reducing waste and promoting eco-friendly materials. The campaign resonated well, particularly with younger Chinese consumers who are highly environmentally conscious. According to a survey by China Youth Daily, over 75% of respondents aged 18 to 35 stated that they prefer to buy from brands that prioritize sustainability. Partnering with local environmental organizations is another powerful approach. Tesla, for example, has worked alongside Chinese environmental groups to promote sustainable transportation options, and this has significantly strengthened its brand image in China. Sustainability isn't just a trend here, it's a priority for both the government and the consumer, explains Leon, a sustainability analyst at Beijing University of Economics. American companies that embed sustainable practices in their core strategy will not only appeal to eco-conscious consumers, but also align with China's policy direction, enhancing their long-term prospects. A seismic shift is underway in China, as American giants like Apple and McDonald's navigate shrinking market shares and evolving consumer tastes. It's clear the future of foreign companies in China faces unprecedented challenges. But here's the thing: this story doesn't end here. China's rise isn't just changing its own market, it's setting the stage for a global transformation that could redefine everything from technology and finance to the very nature of global trade. What does this mean for the rest of the world? Please like and subscribe. Check out another video that is now on your screen.